Happy Friday! Day 10, week 2. Wild. Time is flying. Today, I have become aware that we are approaching the second full moon in the very rare series with two full moons in Capricorn. So, our first one was on the summer solstice, June 21st, and the second in the series, second and final in the series, is July 21st. And so, if you have Capricorn placements or any of the cardinal signs, Libra, Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, or all the cardinal signs, definitely pay attention and notice how you're feeling and what areas of life you have felt expanding since, particularly June 21st. And if you feel like you haven't had a lot of momentum, I would definitely check in with that, because this portal is a time where we have the potential to make some serious shifts, build some strong, sturdy structures around anything that is of importance to us. And that Capricorn energy can also really assist us in knowing what is important for us and potentially realigning your values and reassessing priorities. So, there is that, and that's something that I wanted to share as a check-in and as an update. And we meet often for cacao ceremonies in the cave, and these are things that we discuss in order to help keep people on track, myself included. And I wanted to also start updating you guys so that you can stay on track with your manifesting, with your goals. And the sage today is literally lit. So I've got clouds coming in. And I could totally put it out, but I kind of like it. Maybe we need it. Maybe part of this clearing is just to get any of that bad juju off of you so that you can focus on your goals and move forward. So, one really beautiful thing that I wanted to make time to speak about today is the idea of fantasy. And fantasy is something that I've spoken about quite a lot in regards to the dissolving of my last relationship. And I think fantasy is a wonderful topic to speak about as it relates to relationships, because it is an area where we have been conditioned a lot, Disney, to believe in fantasy, to believe in fairy tale, and to seek it and to move heaven and earth to find it. Now, here's what I'm going to share, and it's just my opinion, and I also can change my opinion at any point in time, and it probably will grow and evolve. But where I'm at right now is the feeling for me around fantasy. It is such a effortless, sweet trail for me to walk in my mind. I adore fantasy. I love writing narratives and writing stories. I'm a very creative, artistic, expressive person. And so for me, fantasy flows, and fantasy assists me in getting in my flow state. So whether that is, as an example, to make this practical, me envisioning speaking in front of a large audience and being an internationally paid speaker and helping people and serving the world in that way, and getting to use my voice and getting to be playful and engaged with an audience, and to see people set free by whatever might channel and come through me. These images are crystal clear in my mind. It is fantasy, we could say. It is something that I am imagining and projecting into the future, and I'm feeling emotions based on those projections, and it's making me shifted and altered in this now reality, which those things don't exist in currently. And so fantasy is really important when you think of the principles of manifesting. And I'm sure many of you that are watching this are familiar with manifesting and the visioning process. And getting into the feeling state of your manifestations is one of the most important, impactful ways to speed up or to accelerate the manifestation process. So, where does fantasy become dangerous? Richard Rudd would say, make plans and hold lightly to them. When you make strong, fixed, purposeful, intentional, potentially rigid plans, the universe has a way of shaking that shit up. A client of mine yesterday said something so beautiful, and this is probably a quote many of you guys know, but it was, if you want to see God laugh, make plans. And I love that. I love it. And also, I cringe. Because that means I'm not in control. And that's scary as a human. It's scary to know and acknowledge you're not in control, to really embody surrender, to let go, let God, let go and let the universe, to acknowledge and have the humility to acknowledge there is a greater plan than the one that this little brain can formulate. And there is humility and recognizing that there are forces that are operating and orchestrating this universe that are far beyond my human willpower and ego and logical mind that can organize and plan and structure things. So it's a contemplation. It's not any thought that I have to tell you how to be or to project on as what I found as right or wrong. I do know for me, and I know from Abraham Hicks' teachings, that when we follow the feeling of feeling good, when we follow our bliss, right, we feel good. When we follow the feeling of feeling good, we feel good. That's groundbreaking, isn't it? And simple is right. And so when you are fantasizing and visualizing and thinking about what it would be like to be with that person, or what it would be like to be in that role, in that position, what it would feel like to create this thing, to have a child, to own a home, whatever you're wanting. And as you focus on it, if it feels good to think about it, do it. Focus on it and remember Richard Rudd's words. Plan and then hold lightly to them. Make this beautiful fantasy fairy tale and allow it to illuminate your entire spirit and inspire you to move forward and continue in your pursuits. And also understand that likely everything will go completely different. So it's a funny contemplation, and I believe, to circle back to where I believe fantasy becomes dangerous, or maybe dangerous is too strong of a word. Detrimental is when we hold tightly to the fantasy. We project the beliefs into the world, onto the person, into the circumstances, and we do not allow ourselves to be in our breath, in our stillness, in our core, in our presence, to actually experience what is occurring and what is happening, and the way the universe has a way of pivoting and shifting and turning the cogs on the wheel of life. And this, I feel, is where fantasy will break your fucking heart. And it's really only you. It's the shadow of the 20th gene key. It's superficiality. Superficially imposed into the now reality. Superficiality. And so what is the medicine of that? How do we move out of that? It is self-assuredness. This key can make me cry. It is my life's work key. It's also what is known as my brand in the Pearl sequence. And it has forever taught me so much about myself and about life. And I'm so grateful for it. And so the 20th gene key says, I am so self-assured, I am so strong in my core that I know I can stand here in this moment and experience what is here to experience. it takes a level of confidence and knowing in your own strength to be able to stand like a great pillar of a pier in a hurricane sea and to be unshakable, to not crumble, to not wish you were somewhere else. That takes a strength and a knowing that you can handle whatever life throws at you. Why? Because you're here. You chose to be here. You're experiencing it. That's how we know you're available for it. And the highest expression of the 20 is presence. And so for me, the remedy to dangerous fantasy is becoming so self-assured in my ability to respond to whatever life might throw at me and shift for me, and to become so present in the knowing that I am able to flow and move with life and that I accept everything as it is. And I'm so deep in the breath that I know it's all perfect. And in fact, the plan that usually comes is much greater than my fantastical one when I can be present and available to see it and experience it and not superficially impose comparing what I'm experiencing to what I thought was supposed to be. And so this is something that I feel I will continue to speak about as I gain more information around. And I hope that this little remedy helps you. And whether you have the 20th gene key present in your profile or not, it doesn't matter. This 20th gene key, Richard says in particular, is the spine of every other key. Every other 64 keys depends on presence. It depends on the sacred the tone of being here now. It's so beautiful. I love it. Thank you for receiving this. I love you all. I shall see you tomorrow. Happy Friday. I hope you do something playful and Venetian. Fridays are ruled by Venus. And so they're a day to feel feminine and playful and romantic and flirty and blissful. So go play. Go enjoy. I'll see you tomorrow.